నగదు రహిత లావాదేవీలపై ముఖ్యమంత్రుల సంఘం కీలక సమావేశం తర్వాత చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారం ద్వారా చూద్దాం.
One major breakthrough, that is AEPS, Aadhaar Pay. For Aadhaar Pay, only merchants should have smartphone, Android phone, only one device, biometric device we have to add, that cost only 2,000 rupees. Then other side, consumer need not have anything, only has to remember his bank account, bank number, name, and also with Aadhaar authentication, then you can draw money or they can do transactions. This is the major breakthrough. TCS has developed this and NPCI has accepted. Now, interoperability also they have brought nearly 33 banks. Very soon, this is going to come execution. And also another major, this one new version of USSD. Nearly 600 million people are having feature phones or smartphones. With this, there is a simplification. Very easily, UPI contactability, very easy to operate. This is going to come in execution very soon. These are all the two major breakthroughs now. Without having additional infrastructure, this is the low-hanging fruit. Existing infrastructure by adding small device, that is biometric, and also existing feature phone or smartphone, we can go in a big way for mobile currency. And also we have discussed other issues also, how to go about. Even banks, they have to go for Aadhaar seeding. Around 103 banks they have done as on today. Even other banks, both private banks and public sector banks, they have to do Aadhaar seeding. Then in this country, those who don't have even feature phone, they can have facility, and also they can do shopping very easily, very comfortably. For all these things, again, incentives also we have discussed, how to give incentives for digital currency. For physical currency, there is a money is involved, even printing, mobility, and also security, and also wear and tear, all these things are happening. How to give more incentives for digital currency, that also we have discussed. Always there must be some incentives, and also it must be cost effective. If you do digital, then it will be advantage for them compared to physical currency, that also we have discussed. Very soon we are going to give in our report what are all the incentives government has to give, that also we are going to give that report also. And also we wanted to extend all these things. These regional rural banks, even some suggestions have come, cooperative banks, even how to extend this facility to cooperative banks also we have to discuss with RBI. We want to take up with RBI also. Ultimately, even security issue we have discussed. There are some committees are working on that. As on today, in Andhra Pradesh, by using Aadhaar account, we are able to do successfully PDS accounts for the last 2 years, even pension payments also. So it is possible. There is no problem as on today for us. Even on future, more security how to bring. Even sometimes, even our enemy countries or some mischievous elements may hack it, and then they want to do some fraud. How to work on that. Even there is a plan in a big way how to import POS machines. January, February, March, they are going to nearly 10 lakh, 1 million POS machines, January 4 lakhs, February 4 lakhs, March 2 lakhs. Others, they are importing 1.8 lakhs, totally 11.8 lakhs they are going to import. And also this is one more very cost-effective device. Domestically, there is a manufacturing availability there. Biometric device. This also 10 lakh they are planning. 3 lakhs in January, 2 lakhs in February, 5 lakhs in March. Even this we can extend the production. Even for example, in Andhra Pradesh we are giving 1,000 rupees subsidy. Only 1,000 rupees merchant has to pay. It is very simple. Within 15 minutes he can get training. Then consumer side there is no problem at all. Only bank name and also he has to know his Aadhaar number. If you give Aadhaar number or Aadhaar card, automatically the transaction can be done immediately, instantly. Even as on today, these Aadhaar payments are only 4 banks have allowed: IDFC, SBI, Indus Bank, Syndicate Bank, and some other banks. Now we are requesting to implement all banks AEPS payments. Aadhaar Pay has to be adopted for all banks. Then it will be easy. Some more very creative ideas people have suggested. Even sometimes some incentives we have to give those who are doing sovereign wallet like that. If you give some money, youngsters may attract. Some people has given some more suggestions for smartphone. Why can't you give some subsidy so that people will buy more and more and then they can do it. This type of suggestions has come in a big way. Ultimately, what all we are thinking now, banks are involved in this exercise, RBI is involved in this exercise, even Government of India and state government. This report, if you give Government of India, then they will circulate to everybody for action program. Constraints will be in the future also: hardware, smartphones, even biometric devices, even ePass, MPass. These are all the hardware that is the biggest constraint that we have to handle. Second one is connectivity is very, very important. Connectivity bandwidth and also back-end infrastructure, either cloud or servers for back-end for different banks. That is also important. Under cyber security, even financial fintech, there is one area, even software, and ultimately security angles we have to do it. And ultimately attitudinal change. This is also important. People are standing on queue for 6 hours. They are unable to do 4 or 5 times mobile currency. Or they are unable to do half an hour practice for going for mobile currency. That type of problems also there. There may be some interest also. Sometimes merchants, if they bring back on accountability or on accounts, then naturally they will be future they have to pay some taxes also. That also how to do it. For this thing has to be advantage for everybody. Then transparency will come. Lot of benefits for everybody. Corruption will reduce. Even government may get better income. Even those who are doing honest business, they will have an advantage for this. So we have explored all these things. Very soon we are going to report to Government of India. And I am very happy. This meeting has given some more clarity and also fruitful ideas. First of all, what we are thinking, low-hanging fruits we wanted to handle first, without adding additional infrastructure. As on today, what is the existing infrastructure? What is the constraint for that? Use that properly and go for ultimately the best way available all over the world. Best practices, what other countries are doing, we want to do everything possible. That is what we have discussed today. Amitabh Khan.
It was an extremely positive, very constructive, and a very fruitful meeting which was chaired by Honorable Chief Minister. We've discussed the complete roadmap. We've looked at the possible technologies on how to spread it across all sections of society in India, even those without mobile phones. Many of these experiments are being carried out successfully in Andhra Pradesh, particularly in Krishna and Godavari districts. And our objective is that we should be able to spread several of these good examples, best practices of learning from each other across India. Secondly, the issue of making USSD, UPI very easy and simple has been discussed. NPC has worked on it with Nandan Nilekani. We've also looked at the methodology of providing incentives for users and ensuring that merchant discount rate is at a level where there is great amount of incentive for people to shift to digital payments. Now, many of these things, including technology, including incentives, including cyber security, will all form a part of the interim report which will be prepared, and we hope to complete this interim report within a week's time so that it can be presented to the Government of India for necessary action. We have had the benefit of all secretaries being present in today's meeting, so a lot of fruitful interaction has taken place.
When will you submit the final report, sir?
Within this week we'll complete this. No, this will be an interim report.
Our 1 minute, Vice Chairman Naidu will.
So, well, I think the Chief Minister has given a fairly detailed description of what was discussed today, and just reinforce. And one or two important things happened. One is this: there is a new USSD app that was that's now built, and there is a single app for the UPI, and there is interoperability now between USSD and UPI. So that's a very big technological leap. So that's one important one. The second that Chief Minister pointed out, a lot of POS machines are now being imported, and by the end of March there should be about 10 million of 1 million of those, 10 lakhs of those machines imported. Also, cyber security was discussed in detail. We also discussed, how. So there are two ways we thought of it. That right now, while the currency is being injected, there is an window of opportunity to bring in large number of those who already have in hand the devices, either smartphones or feature phones, into the net or digital transactions, and that's the sort of what Chief Minister talked about, the low-hanging fruits. But in the longer run, we have to have a whole much bigger strategy from spreading the ownership of these phones, mobile phones, to improving the connectivity across the country, to having more and more people adopt the technology. So that's roughly what the discussion was. One thing we are considering, and we'll discuss it and announce it perhaps once we have a consensus within the institution, that we'll create some sort of small cell on digital payments and transactions, so that becomes the point to which any of you and public at large, they want to have some access to information, both on what the government is doing, but also technology related and so forth. Those needing assistance can come to it. Eventually, I understand that there is also going to be a phone line.
1 week time.
Eventually, so that will be phone line for the customers at large that if they have any difficulties, they come to that. But we would sort of, do it more for the dissemination of what the committee is doing, what the issues in digital technology are. So there is so the telephone line is going to be 4444. Sorry, 144. 14444. So that will be a dedicated phone number to answer the queries of customers on for whatever difficulties they may be having with completing digital transactions.
No, I wanted to say one thing ultimately for all of you. There are 4 ways of dealing things in future. One is AEPS, Aadhaar payment, Aadhaar pay. This smartphone biometric device at merchant's place. On the other hand, bank account, consumer should know only bank name and Aadhaar synchronized, Aadhaar number, that is enough, then you can transact. Second one, mobile phone, feature phone, mobile phone. For that, very simple now, USSD new version is coming. It will be very easy. This is second. 600 million people are having feature phones or mobile phones, so that they will have access to banks now. Third one is swiping. It is very clear, rupee card, Visa card, or otherwise MasterCard, any card for that matter. There we need ePass, mPass, micro ATM or ATM. Fourth one, bank, physical currency. They can draw money, even ATM they can draw money, physical currency. Last one, bank transactions. In this, all technologies, all softwares are going to operate. There I need your cooperation also. You are all talking technology, security, all these things. That's good. I am very happy for that. You have to understand one thing. Even Microsoft head is from Indian. Even Google head is from India. All companies are headed by Indians. All over the world, all these things are happening. So there will be security problems, but at the same time, there are solutions for security problems. Now, because of all these things, there is a fintech is coming in a big way. Fintech, even Singapore, London, so many countries, they are moving in a direction. They are doing all security checks also, cyber security also for fintech. So any doubts, you can come here, take suggestions or ideas, or you are having any innovative idea, you can do that. Or otherwise you wanted to hack as a enemy also, you can do that. Then we will find a solution for that also. I encourage that also. Because it is not a secret. Even somebody will do as enemy or somebody as a vested interest. As a well-wisher, if you do, that is good for us to find a solution immediately. I am very happy for that.
So, are you also planning to impose some cash handling charges to discourage?
That is not.
And what about the MDR charges?
No, so this issue of providing an incentive system where people move towards digital payments has been discussed at length. Government of India has already announced several initiatives for that. Government of India has also said that for merchants up to 2 crores, there will be, presumptive tax can come down from 8% to 2% taxation to 6%. Therefore, I think FM has already announced, we are looking at how we can make it, we have looked at, so today a presentation was made on global experience and best practices. So how did other countries achieve this? In several countries, several things were done. And we've trying to see what are the best practices, and on that we are working out.
My question.
I wanted to also clarify that this 14444 helpline is being developed by us in partnership with NASSCOM and with all the telephone operating companies. So it will be operated by the NASSCOM and telecom operating companies, but that's a common number to assist and facilitate all digital payments.
Sir, it has already started or
not yet? It's not yet. When we launch it, we will inform you.
So my question to Naidu sir, please. Sir, how can you digitalize without bank account? Because there is a shortage of 40% of bank accounts is there. Only 60% people have bank accounts, and without bank account, these are UPI, Aadhaar, USSD will not process. So there is any concern